Hello, it's Stephanie with Coffee Paper Scissors. Today I'm going to be working on turning this into my December daily. It is a 3-ring binder, and I've made lots of these sorts of things in the past. So I'm hoping I'll be able to figure it out. Now this front part is a little bit bent. I found this at a thrift store. The back is nice and firm. The front seems to have like a cushion on it as well, so that's interesting. I want to keep the cover just around the edges, and then I'm going to put my collage sheets that I made in the last video on the front and the back. So I have to figure out how to get part of this off and then slide something in to hopefully fix the bend and also take the cushion out. I don't know what that is under there, but we're about to find out. What I'm thinking I'm going to do, I don't know if this is going to work, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do is open it here and here. Oh man, I'm thinking. And then just kind of cut and see if I can open it up enough to be able to slide something in. We're just going to go for it. Most of it's going to be covered. I have a couple of books that I'm going to use to support it while I'm working on it. Make sure you guys are in camera. I might lift it up a little bit so that I don't have to worry about it quite so much. And if you want, you can do a straight edge, you know, for something like this. I really need to get a better metal straight edge. But okay, let's find out what's inside of here. I don't know that that's necessary. I'm just going to run it along. I'm trying to make it so that this part here doesn't get opened up right here on the edges. I keep on standing up to try and see where I am. Okay, I'm going to do it like that. This is going to be covered, so I'm okay with it not being perfectly straight. Oh, and then I need to cut down here. And you know, I have lines here that I can sort of follow. Okay, there's just cushion in there. Interesting. Yeah, this is the part I'm just not quite sure about. I want all of that foam out. It's got static to it. Oh my goodness, it doesn't want to let go of my hands. I don't need this part, so I'm just gonna cut it off. Don't slice your fingers open, you know, with your X-Acto knife. Stab yourself. I'm hoping I'm leaving enough space to cover everything. Okay, so see you know, who knew? I guess we know now. And then if I'll be able to pull it, clean it all off, that would be a good thing. Yeah, it really is staticky. Isn't that crazy? It comes off pretty easy from the paper, so that's good. Okay, so I think I'll work on clearing out all of the foam, and just with one of my little really not sharp at all, but it's a nice edge to, it's sharp enough for this kind of stuff, but it's not going to cut me. So I use these all the time. So I'm going to sit here and clean this out. All right, that wasn't fun. That foam is a real pain in the rear. And then these edges tore and stuff. So I'm going to have to use different book corners. I was going to use just the decorative ones that sit on top, but I think I'm going to have to put something on the corner now. This is just going to slide inside. I'm hoping that whatever foam got left in there just gets squished down. And I didn't cut it to fit precisely. I just cut it to fit in. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not exactly the same size or anything like that. And this is kind of a fast drying glue, so I'm trying to get it down there just within the parameters. Okay, get the glue off my fingers. And do some squishing. Definitely need the books down inside for the stability. And now I'm going to make sure that it's still going to cover everything once. I think so. My willy-nilly cutting job, I think I did okay. I will go ahead and glue the tops down as well. And I'm not going to be shy. I'm just going to put quite a bit of glue in there. I hope this works. I mean, I think it will. I don't know why it wouldn't work. I think it'll work. Let's see. I didn't bring anything to clean that off with, of course. One of these days I'll remember that that's what I need to do. Okay, shoot, yeah, I really need something. And it's obvious that the cover, like this stuff, kind of has a mind of its own. It's pretty thick, whatever this paper is made out of. So it doesn't want to stick down real well. So I'm going to have to just keep messing with it until it kind of sticks. I need a paper towel. Do I have anything in here? Oh, one of my lights is sitting on one. Sorry about the wiggle. I need to get it to stay before. If it doesn't stay, then I'm going to have to stick some more glue under it and do it again. Yeah, book corners are definitely going to be necessary. And part of it will be covered with fabric as well, so that's good. It's almost sticking. So the glue that I used underneath this was just the this one. I'm trying to get rid of it. It's good glue, but it's so thick, and I don't know, it's just not easy to work with. So I have no intention of buying that again. I usually try and use it on things like this, where I just need a whole bunch of glue. And then I put art glitter glue just under the edges. And it is holding now. Now on top of that, I want to put my cover, and I think that it's this one that I want to use. And then I'm gonna put something heavy on top, and I'm gonna walk away for probably an hour and just let it sit and dry. I think that a good way to do this is to go all the way around the edges with my Fabri-Tac, and then around this part, I think I'm gonna do art glitter glue. I'm not quite sure which one is the best option. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit shiny, this stuff. Not shiny, but smooth. Maybe this one is a better option. Shoot. I don't know. Let's just do it. I don't want to put so much around the edge that it seeps out. Make sure I have it right side up. I don't see a bunch of seepage, so that is good. And it's on there fairly straight. I can move it just a little bit. All of my cuts are, I think, are hidden. Except over here, but again, that's going to be covered with fabric. All right, I think that's good. Let's find a nice heavy book. I have a big old dictionary, and then I always put some wax paper, and I'm gonna let that dry. I think it has sat long enough. So let's unpile it and see if it's flattened it. I think it has. Much better. Much better. Okay, I like that. That's good. Okay, so I have to glue the back down, and that I think is going to be pretty simple. I did already mush all of my stitching down to help it lay flat. Sometimes when you're in the middle of one of these projects, it seems a little bit overwhelming, and a lot of times I'll not even want to start something like this because of, just kind of daunting, I guess. But if you just go one step at a time, which was what I tell my daughter all the time when she's stressed out about college stuff, just one thing at a time, then it's not so overwhelming. And, don't think about the whole project, just think about one step at a time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Put this under so I can squish it. I might actually have to do the same thing on this one because it's kind of popping up. not wanting to lay down. It has a little bit of decoration on the base of the book that I'm trying to cover up. So yes, I am going to have to cover or do the same thing and weigh this down. See you in a few minutes. There is a lot of gluing and waiting, and then my daughter called, so I stopped and chatted with her for a while. Okay, I have the front and back all glued down, and now I'm going to put this part on and just kind of guess the center of it and play with it that way. Okay, how much is going to hang off? About 1/4 of an inch, just a little less than 1/4 of an inch. So I'll try to avoid putting glue where it's going to be hanging off. We'll use Fabri-Tac. And that means there's going to be more waiting time for the glue to set before I move on. On the inside, I was trying to decide if I do a fabric panel in there as well, and I decided to, because the inside of the page is so big, and so I just feel like the inside of the book cover is so big that it's kind of like a great expanse, and I feel that putting a little bit of fabric down will just, I don't know, make it look better, like proportionally better. How about I set it down like this? We'll try that. And then I can fuss with it. I'm thinking, so this fabric has words, obviously has words on it. And I was thinking that I might take one of them if it were to fit on the spine well, and, you know, cut it out like to say, you know, holidays or something, and run it along separately. I just don't know if I can, I don't know. We'll see. It's just a thought I have right at this moment, because that's kind of plain. So I feel like it would be good to put something else on there. And if I did, I would just do like a paper base, and then probably in a dark green, and then wrap some fabric around cardstock and just do a couple of different layers. But we'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. You guys, I'm gonna have to let this sit and dry again before I can do anything. Oh, you know what? I just kind of goofed. I was gonna put this right under the edge, and this doesn't dry, this glue doesn't dry crazy quickly, so I think we'll be okay. As long as I can figure out which side is up. I think it's this side. And I have, I think, just the right amount. Oh, goodness. Okay, I need to hurry because it's already sticking. I'm going to put a little bit more glue down. Then I'll stick a little glue on top of it for the fabric to stick to. Glad I realized that. I'm like, wait, it doesn't look right. This is not what I was thinking in my head. Glue, glue, glue. And I did the heat and bond on my fabric so that my glue doesn't seep through. And the very edge, there's no heat and bond, and you see the glue seeping through there. I mean, it's gonna be okay, you know, but still, that's why I do the heat and bond. You notice it's not seeping through over here. Okay, I need to pull this side up too. Goodness, goodness, goodness. All right. And then we'll do a little bit more. Maybe I'll try and get it right on the fabric this time. Put a little bit more there since it had dried a little bit more. Okay. It's definitely a different color red than what is going on in the paper, but it's the same color red that's in the fabric, so I think it works. And then I have some rickrack. So it's nice, you know, we have these things to do while my fabric is drying. Yeah, so we'll put some rickrack down. How many of you guys are going to do a December daily this year? I'm thinking I want to try some different recipes, not necessarily just sweets, because generally that's what I think of when I think of holidays. And well, when I think of Thanksgiving, I don't think of sweets necessarily. I think of savory type dishes that would be fun to try. But when it comes to Christmas, I always think of sweets, and I don't really need to be doing a whole month full of sweets, do I? So maybe I'll try and find some fun savory thing to try that I've never had before and see. But we'll see, you know, maybe I won't. We'll see. Could be all sweets. All sweets all month. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down and let my spine dry before I move into the front. All right, let's see where we are now. Okay, everything is dry. It's been a little while. I've been making a couple of other things to go. So I knew that this was going to gape or gap or whatever you want to call it like that. The paper that was on the binder did it. So if the paper did it, I knew that the fabric was going to do it as well. But that's all right, because the rest of it's glued down. So on the inside, I covered it with some of the liner, and if you can kind of lift and scoot the fabric underneath. It's not easy, but it can be done. I should have gone ahead and cut my slit. Okay, so if you cut down the middle, maybe about, well, I guess I could find the middle by folding it. It might be enough, might need a little bit more. Same on this side. Let's get it in there. Find the middle. If this doesn't work, if it's too difficult, it's okay. It doesn't have to happen. So you want some of it on one side and some of it on the other. And this is where it's going to be hard because there's more fabric than, you know, the space allows, kind of. So we'll see. And I don't know if I got enough of a cut. I might have to do a little trimming around it. I did do enough of a cut though. That's good. And then these are all made differently, so you just have to work with your fabric according to how it's made. So if you have to notch it out, you have to notch it out. And I am probably really wiggling the camera, so sorry about that. I'll just yank that out and hope I kind of got it right. And I can trim it some more. Again, this is one of those things. It's kind of like, oh gosh, do I do it? You know, it's just fabric. It's just fabric and paper and all of that. It'll be fine. Cut a little bit more. What I want is for it to lay fairly smoothly, and a little bit of the paper can be showing. That's okay. I'd rather have it, you know, kind of laying flat and a little paper showing than for there to be a lot of bunching. We'll see if that works down there. Probably will. And there's, like I said, there's going to be a little paper showing, but you know, there's going to be so much going on in this journal that I don't think I'll notice that. Can tell where that needed to come out, huh? Just gonna try and round that off a little bit. Manhandling it, right? Is that an appropriate term anymore? Probably not. I said something to my daughter today when I was talking to her that she had never heard before. I'm not going to say what it was, but I'm like, nah. She goes, Mom, I've never heard that before. I'm like, yeah. It used to be a common saying. It has to do with animals, you know, but I'm not going to say it. It wasn't a mean thing. I was like, no, it's not derogatory. It's just used to be a very common saying. Okay, so I cut too much on both sides. But again, I don't think I'm ever going to notice that when it's all said and done. And I could always put a little something there if I wanted. Now that I have that down... And like I said, some of them are easier than others. This one was a little tight down there. So then I'm just going to glue it. I'm going to put glue into the little crease there. I don't know if it'll stay or not, but we're going to give it a try. And then I'm going to glue onto where I have my heat and bond. Okay, I like it. I'll squish it down into the crease here in just a minute. So grab one of your binders, find a cookbook binder at a thrift store. That's, you know, what I did for this. And just start tearing into it. And even though, like I say, it looks like something that may be nearly impossible and it's a lot of work and all that, it's a lot of work. But, you know, it's something different. It's not just the same thing over and over again. Like I've said before, I like to kind of make something different all the time. I'm not saying different from anybody else, but I don't want to make the same journal over and over again. So when I get finished with one thing, I like to try and do something else, or I get really bored. Where's my crease? There it is. Okay, good. Just a little bit, or I can glue it right down here. And this as well, I think, is loose. And my glue is starting to seep. We are almost finished getting it prepared. And then after Thanksgiving, it'll be ready to go. I made a couple of scrappy pockets to put on either side. I can also put something else here, rickrack or something. I just don't know yet, and so I don't want to do that quite yet. Let me get some of this extra glue off of there. Let me squish these down so that they're easier to glue. I just used some old scraps for my backing for my pocket. And I might do some labels at some point. I don't want to necessarily decorate the front and the back, not knowing what my pages are going to look like. I don't know what I'll do, say December 1st, my first page of my journal. I don't know what it's going to look like. And so once I do know that sort of thing, then I might put some sort of decoration or tag or something in the front pocket. I just don't know yet. So I think I'll wait for that. Squish this down. This one's the bottom. Have any of you ever made a 3-ring binder journal? I like that you don't have to figure out what you're doing all at once. Like every page can be some new thing. It doesn't have to, you don't have to figure out the pages that go in it before you're actually going to do something in it, if that makes sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all going to be Christmassy, but on, let's say, day 15, I may not want to be what's in like a journal that has the pages already put into it. And so this way I can just decide, okay, so the inside is ready to go. I will need to make a template for my 3-ring, and I'll stick that probably in the pocket so that it's there when I need it. Okay, now the cover. That's good. It's going, okay, this probably needs to dry for a little bit before I can do the cover. I'm going to have to turn you guys off again and let that dry. I don't know if you can tell, but this has been another one of those really long days of video making. I started early this morning and it is 3:30. I made this to go on the edge here. So let's go ahead and glue it down. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for the most part, but on the ends, I'm going to attach it with some hot glue so that it stays put while the rest of it is drying. But this is always hard. Okay, make sure I've got the front. This is the front of the book. And once I, you know, oh, this is hard. Okay, make sure my glue is working. I'm just going to put the glue here and here, and I probably put too much. And then hope that it's good. I'm going to line it up and then push down. I used some giant brads for either end. I'm awfully close to the camera. Okay, we'll keep pushing on that as we do the rest. I added some brads there too. So this is a piece of the fabric, and then I just layered a couple of Christmassy colors. And then I did the same paper that I did here. I did around my snow globe. I also added some book corners. You guys have seen that done tons of times, I'm sure. So I just did that on my own. And I'm going to put that kind of right in the center. And I'm going to call it good once I get that glued down. So the inside, yay, we're almost done. I think this is going to take quite a bit of glue because it's got a bit of a curve to it. My snow globe is a little bit 3D and it has caused a curve. So I'm going to use a lot of glue in order to make sure that most of it is sticking down. I don't want to have glue on my fingers. Let me put something sturdy under there so I don't just break the board that I just put in there for reinforcement. I think she's good. I wonder how long this video is. There are probably, I don't know, 6 parts to it. And when that happens, you know, it's long. So there we go, you guys. I hope you like it. And I hope we have fun over this upcoming month, filling it up with some nice Christmas activities. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.